Ladies, I came here to speak to your spirit today because some of you have been trapped in a cycle of being the nice girl, always saying yes when your soul is screaming no, always giving, pouring, and sacrificing while you sit on empty. But today I came to tell you it's time to stop being the nice girl and start being the right girl. Boundaries are essential for protecting your peace and preserving your energy. Too often we allow others to encroach upon our time, emotions, and resources because we haven't drawn clear lines in the sand. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out, they are gates to ensure that only the right people and situations have access to you. Without them, you'll find yourself constantly drained, frustrated, out of alignment with your purpose. Setting boundaries isn't about rejection, it's about redirection toward what truly matters. A lack of boundaries often stems from a fear of disappointing others. Many people hesitate to say no because they don't want to seem unkind or risk losing relationships. But the truth is, every time you say yes to something that drains you, you are saying no to something that fulfills you. Boundaries are not about being rude, they are about being intentional. When you respect your own limits, you teach others to respect them too. Establishing boundaries begins with knowing your own worth. If you don't value yourself, you will allow others to devalue you. People often take as much as you're willing to give, and if you give without limits, you will eventually run out of what makes you whole. Boundaries are a reflection of your self-respect. They tell the world I value myself enough to protect my time, energy, and emotional well-being. Boundaries require clarity and communication. You cannot expect others to honor what you haven't articulated. It's not enough to hope people will understand your limits, you must clearly express them. For example, if you need time to yourself after work, communicate that to those around you. If a task is beyond your capacity, speak up. When you are direct about your needs, you eliminate confusion and pave the way for healthier interactions. Enforcing boundaries is an act of courage, especially when others push back against them. Not everyone will welcome the limits you set, especially if they've grown accustomed to you being endlessly available. You may face resistance, but remember that every boundary you enforce strengthens your foundation. Boundaries may upset some people, but they will also filter out those who truly respect and value you. Boundaries are not static, they evolve as you grow. What you needed 5 years ago may not serve you today, and that's okay. As you step into new seasons of life, take time to reevaluate and adjust your boundaries. Reflect on what's working and what's not. Growth requires constant realignment, and boundaries are the tools that keep you on track. Standing in your power means fully embracing who you are without apology or compromise. It's a declaration that you are worthy of respect, success, and happiness simply because you exist. Too often, women are taught to shrink, to minimize their presence, and to downplay their abilities in order to make others comfortable. But when you stand in your power, you refuse to hide your light. You know that your gifts, your voice, and your perspective are valuable, and you are not afraid to let them shine. To stand in your power is to recognize that you are not defined by the limitations others try to place on you. Society may label you in ways that confine you to certain roles or expectations, but standing in your power means rejecting these labels. You are not what others say you are what God has declared over your life. You were created with purpose, and nothing should stand in the way of you fulfilling it. Your potential is not determined by past mistakes, external judgments, or the opinions of others. It is shaped by the vision you have for your own life. A key aspect of standing in your power is taking full ownership of your decisions and actions. When you stand in your power, you stop blaming others for your circumstances and start taking responsibility for how you respond to them. You acknowledge your mistakes, learn from them, and move forward with resilience. The power to change your life resides within you, and it begins with the choices you make today. No one can take your power unless you give it away. Standing in your power also requires setting boundaries that protect your peace and your progress. You can't operate from a place of strength if you're constantly giving away your energy to people and situations that drain you. Recognize that your time and attention are valuable, and you have the right to protect them. When you prioritize your own well-being and success, you set the stage for others to respect your space and your authority. You become a force that demands to be respected, not because you demand it, but because you show through your actions that you are not available for anything less. Embracing your power means walking confidently in your authenticity. There is freedom in being yourself, in shedding the need to perform or to fit into someone else's mold. When you stand in your power, you stop second-guessing your worth. You stop apologizing for being different, for wanting more, and for seeking the life you know you deserve. You stop comparing yourself to others because you understand that your journey is uniquely yours and there is no need to mimic anyone else's path. Finally, standing in your power is about moving forward in faith, trusting that you are equipped for the journey ahead. It's knowing that no matter the challenges you face, you have what it takes to overcome them. Your power is not based on external circumstances, it's rooted in the belief that you are capable of achieving what you set your mind to. Each step you take in confidence is a declaration to the world that you are not a passive bystander in your own life. You are the author, the creator, and the ruler of your destiny. Being nice is often about seeking approval. A nice person will go out of their way to ensure everyone around them is happy, even at the expense of their own needs. Nice people often feel a deep obligation to please others and avoid conflict, sometimes sacrificing their own well-being to keep the peace. Niceness is based on external validation, is driven by the desire to be liked and accepted by others. The nice person will often say yes when they mean no, just to avoid disappointing someone, but this can lead to resentment and burnout. Kindness, on the other hand, comes from a place of genuine compassion and authenticity. Kindness is not about seeking approval, it is about offering support, love, or help in a way that respects both the giver and the receiver. A kind person will help when they can, but they do so out of a deep sense of empathy and without compromising their own boundaries or self-respect. Kindness is grounded in a true understanding of what the other person needs, not just in the desire to appear agreeable. The key difference between nice and kind is in the motivation. Niceness is motivated by fear of rejection, fear of being seen as rude, or fear of causing discomfort. Kindness, however, is motivated by love and integrity. A kind person does what is right, even if it's difficult or uncomfortable. They may say no when necessary, and while that can be uncomfortable, their intention is always to help others in a way that doesn't harm themselves in the process. They know that in order to be truly helpful, they must be authentic and true to their own values. A nice person may avoid conflict at all costs, but this can lead to unhealthy relationships or enable others to take advantage of them. While niceness may seem harmless, it also results in unspoken frustration and unbalanced relationships. Kindness, on the other hand, isn't afraid of confrontation when needed. A kind person will speak the truth in love, even if it means addressing an uncomfortable issue. They understand that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is be honest and direct, especially if it means helping someone grow or protecting your own peace. Being nice can sometimes involve people-pleasing behavior, where the individual does things to avoid disapproval, often ignoring their own feelings in the process. A nice person might say yes to obligations they have no interest in or overcommit themselves to others, all to maintain a positive image. Kindness, however, involves being mindful of your own needs while still offering support to others. A kind person knows that saying no is sometimes necessary, not out of selfishness, but out of respect for themselves and the people they're helping. They understand that true kindness includes being honest about limitations. Lastly, kindness nurtures genuine connections. Nice people might have many acquaintances, but kind people develop deep, meaningful relationships. Kindness is not transactional. It doesn't come with the expectation of something in return. A kind person is more likely to be empathetic, patient, and present in their relationships. They build trust and emotional depth because their actions align with their values. They lead with integrity and compassion, not out of a need to be liked, but because they are truly invested in the well-being of others. Learning to say no is one of the most powerful acts of self-care you can practice. Saying no isn't about rejecting people, it's about protecting your time, energy, and emotional well-being. Too often we say yes to obligations and requests out of guilt, fear of disappointing others, or the desire to be liked. But when you say yes to things that don't serve you, you are, in essence, saying no to yourself. You're denying yourself the space and the energy to focus on what truly matters to you. Saying no is a declaration of your boundaries. It's an acknowledgement that your time and resources are limited and you cannot give them to everyone who asks. Boundaries are not meant to isolate you from others. They're designed to ensure that your emotional, physical, and mental health remain intact. When you respect your boundaries, you are better able to serve others without sacrificing your own peace or well-being. Saying no allows you to prioritize your own needs, which ultimately leads to more sustainable and fulfilling relationships. One of the hardest aspects of learning to say no is overcoming the fear of judgment. Many people fear that saying no will make them seem selfish, rude, or unhelpful. But the truth is, saying no is an act of self-respect. It shows that you value your time, your energy, and your priorities. People who truly care about you will respect your decision, even if they're initially disappointed. In fact, the people who respect your no are often the ones who respect you the most, because they understand that you are honoring your own well-being. Saying no also means learning to let go of the need for approval. Many of us are conditioned to believe that our worth is tied to how much we can do for others, but constantly seeking approval by saying yes to every request only leads to burnout. When you learn to say no, you take back your power. You stop living in reaction to others' demands and start making choices that align with your true desires and goals. It's not about being selfish, it's about being intentional with how you invest your time and energy. No is a complete sentence, and you don't need to over-explain or justify your decision. Many people struggle with saying no because they feel the need to give a detailed explanation or make excuses. However, you don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing to protect yourself. A simple, direct no is enough. By making your no clear and firm, you remove any ambiguity that could lead to manipulation or pressure. You give others the opportunity to respect your decision without the need for negotiation. Learning to say no is a practice that becomes easier with time. It requires self-awareness and confidence to recognize when something doesn't align with your values or your priorities. At first, it might feel uncomfortable or awkward, but as you continue to set boundaries, you'll gain the clarity and strength to make decisions that serve you. The more you say no to the things that drain you, the more you create space for the things that energize and fulfill you. Over time, you'll find that your ability to say no will be one of the most empowering tools you have in creating a life that is balanced and aligned with your purpose. Valuing yourself is the foundation of living a fulfilling and empowered life. It starts with recognizing your inherent worth, independent of your accomplishments, the approval of others, or your past mistakes. Too many people seek validation outside themselves, waiting for others to affirm their value. But true self-worth comes from within. It's an inner knowing that you are deserving of love, respect, success, and peace, simply because you exist. When you learn to value yourself, you stop measuring your worth by external factors and begin to operate from a place of inner strength. One of the first steps in valuing yourself is understanding the power of self-compassion. We can be our own harshest critics, often holding ourselves to unrealistic standards or focusing on our flaws. But the truth is, self-criticism only undermines your value. You must practice kindness towards yourself, acknowledging your strengths and achievements, while also being forgiving of your shortcomings. When you value yourself, you give yourself permission to make mistakes, to learn, and to grow without punishing yourself in the process. You treat yourself with the same compassion you would offer a friend in times of struggle. Another important aspect of valuing yourself is setting boundaries. When you value yourself, you'll understand that your time, energy, and emotions are precious. You don't allow others to take advantage of you or demand more than you can give. Boundaries are not a form of rejection. They are a clear declaration that your well-being matters. By setting boundaries, you protect your energy and ensure that you invest in relationships and activities that nourish and empower you. This act of self-respect sends a message to the world that you are not willing to tolerate anything that diminishes your worth. Valuing yourself also means taking care of your body, mind, and spirit. You cannot fully honor yourself if you neglect your physical and emotional health. This means prioritizing rest, eating nutritious food, exercising, and engaging in activities that uplift you. It also means seeking mental and emotional balance through practices like mindfulness, therapy, or meditation. When you value yourself, you make time for self-care, understanding that it is not selfish to invest in your own well-being. In fact, it is essential to living a happy and healthy life. Learning to say no is a crucial part of valuing yourself. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your values, desires, or energy, you are telling yourself that others' needs are more important than your own. But when you learn to say no, you reaffirm your self-worth. Saying no is an act of self-respect. It's a declaration that you will not compromise your peace, your health, or your happiness to meet the expectations of others. By saying no to what drains you, you create space to say yes to what nourishes you. Finally, valuing yourself means knowing your own potential and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. Too often we allow fear, insecurity, or doubt to hold us back from pursuing what we truly want. But when you value yourself, you recognize that you are capable of achieving great things and you are deserving of success, love, and happiness. You no longer accept toxic relationships, dead-end jobs, or situations that diminish your self-worth. Instead, you actively seek opportunities that align with your goals and dreams, knowing that you are worthy of the best life has to offer. Discernment is a crucial skill when it comes to choosing the right people to allow into your life. Not everyone who enters your space is meant to stay there, and not everyone who claims to be a friend is genuinely invested in your well-being. The ability to discern the right people is about understanding who truly supports you, who uplifts you, and who aligns with your values. This process requires intuition, self-awareness, and the wisdom to recognize when someone's energy doesn't match your own. Your life is precious, and you must be intentional about who you invite into your circle. The first step in discerning the right people is to become clear on your own values and purpose. You cannot expect to attract or recognize the right people if you are unsure of who you are or what you stand for. When you are aligned with your true self, you naturally begin to attract individuals who resonate with that energy. People who share your core beliefs, interests, and passions will naturally gravitate toward you, and this connection will feel authentic. Conversely, those who don't align with your values will begin to fade away. The clearer you are about your own path, the clearer it becomes who is meant to walk alongside you. Another aspect of discernment is paying attention to how people make you feel. The right people will elevate you, inspire you, and bring out the best in you. They will challenge you to grow, encourage you to be your best, and celebrate your successes. On the other hand, the wrong people will drain you, create confusion, or leave you feeling diminished. A healthy relationship leaves you feeling energized, seen, and valued. If you consistently feel unappreciated, disrespected, or emotionally exhausted after spending time with someone, it's important to reassess that relationship. Actions always speak louder than words. It's easy for someone to say the right things, but discerning the right people means looking at their actions over time. The right people show up when they say they will. They offer help without expecting something in return, and they treat you with respect and kindness. They don't just talk about loyalty, they demonstrate it through their behavior. Pay attention to how people treat others, especially when they think no one is watching. If someone is consistently disrespectful or dishonest, their words are meaningless. Sometimes discerning the right people requires you to trust your intuition. Your inner voice often knows when something doesn't feel right, even if there's no concrete evidence to support it. Trust that gut feeling. If someone's behavior doesn't sit well with you, or if a relationship feels off, don't ignore those signals. Your intuition is a powerful tool in identifying people who may not have your best interests at heart. Learn to listen to your instincts and protect your space accordingly. Lastly, discerning the right people means recognizing that some relationships have a season, and that's okay. Not every person who enters your life is meant to stay forever. Some people come into your life for a specific purpose, to teach you something, to guide you through a particular challenge, or to help you grow. Once that purpose is fulfilled, it's important to recognize when it's time to let go. Letting go doesn't mean you've been wrong in choosing them. It simply means that the relationship has run its course and it's time to make room for new connections that better align with where you're going. Walking in courage means stepping into the unknown with confidence. Even when fear tries to paralyze you, it's the ability to move forward despite uncertainty, doubt, or the potential for failure. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in spite of it. It is the strength to take risks and pursue your dreams, knowing that challenges and setbacks are part of the journey. When you walk in courage, you no longer allow fear to dictate your decisions or hold you back from the opportunities that lie ahead. To walk in courage, you must first confront your fears and acknowledge them without letting them control you. Fear often masks itself as self-doubt or insecurity, leading you to question your ability to succeed. But courage requires you to push through those moments of doubt and take action anyway. You must understand that fear is a natural part of growth and that it doesn't have to be the determining factor in your decisions. Instead of running from fear, walk through it. Every step forward in the face of fear is a victory that strengthens your courage. Walking in courage also involves trusting your instincts and making decisions based on your inner guidance. There will always be external voices offering advice or pushing you in different directions, but the courage to follow a path comes from listening to your heart. It's about trusting the vision you have for your life, even if others may not fully understand it. Courage means making choices that align with your values and purpose, even when the road ahead seems uncertain or less traveled. Trusting yourself allows you to stand firm in your decisions and face the unknown with confidence. Another aspect of courage is embracing failure as a necessary part of the process. Too many people avoid taking risks because they fear failing, but failure is not a reflection of your worth, it's a stepping stone toward success. Every failure brings with it lessons that make you stronger and more resilient. Walking in courage means taking risks, knowing that you may stumble, but you'll always get back up and learn from the experience. Failure doesn't define you, it refines you, preparing you for greater success. Courage also means being vulnerable and authentic. It's easy to hide behind a mask of perfection, trying to present yourself as strong and invincible. But walking in true courage requires you to embrace your imperfections and be real with others. Vulnerability is a powerful form of courage because it shows that you are willing to expose your true self, regardless of judgment. When you walk in courage, you allow yourself to be seen, flaws and all, and embrace the beauty in your authenticity. This vulnerability creates deep connections and fosters genuine relationships, both with others and with yourself. Finally, walking in courage means refusing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. It's the refusal to accept mediocrity or live a life dictated by fear and complacency. Courage calls you to rise above your circumstances and reach for something greater. It's about believing in your own potential and refusing to let life pass you by. When you walk in courage, you push past the comfort zone of what you know and boldly step into the life you were meant to create. Courage is the driving force that helps you turn dreams into reality and face the future with unwavering confidence. Focusing on your purpose requires a clear understanding of who you are and why you're here. It's about knowing what drives you, what excites you, and what you are called to do in this world. When you focus on your purpose, you don't let distractions, doubts, or the opinions of others dictate your path. You are guided by a deep sense of clarity and conviction that keeps you moving forward, even when the journey gets tough. Your purpose acts as a compass, helping you navigate through life's challenges and align your actions with your deepest values. The first step in focusing on your purpose is to gain a clear sense of your vision. What is it that you want to contribute to the world? What legacy do you want to leave behind? These questions help you connect with your higher calling. When you have a clear vision, you can create goals that align with that purpose. Purpose isn't something you can simply stumble upon. It requires self-reflection and intentionality. It's about diving deep within yourself to discover what truly matters and then aligning your choices with that discovery. Once you have identified your purpose, it's important to stay focused on it, even when external pressures or distractions arise. In a world full of noise and constant demands, it's easy to lose sight of your purpose. However, when you stay grounded in your purpose, you're less likely to be swayed by fleeting trends or the expectations of others. It's about being deliberate with your time, energy, and resources, choosing to invest in activities and relationships that align with your calling. The power to stay focused lies in your ability to filter out distractions and prioritize what truly matters. Focusing on your purpose also requires a strong sense of resilience. There will be obstacles along the way, times when things don't go as planned or when the journey seems too difficult. But when you are focused on your purpose, you're better equipped to persevere through adversity. Your purpose provides the strength to keep going when motivation fades or when fear creeps in. It's the reminder that the obstacles you face are not the end of the road, but part of the process that will ultimately bring you closer to fulfilling your mission. To stay focused on your purpose, you must also be willing to make sacrifices. There may be moments when you have to say no to things that are not in alignment with your vision, whether that's social